Welcome to Tuesday Talk. I appreciate everybody coming out. Can you believe we're only 14 days away from the election? Got here awful quick. All right. So, not quick enough. I love it. Okay. To go ahead and get started this morning, I'm going to have Bill Henry come up and give us an election update. Bill?
It's right here.
Oh, you need a mic, sorry.
All right, is this on? Yeah. Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Fellow voters. Over 200 of us have submitted our ballots so far from Regency Oaks. One was rejected. One of you forgot to sign the ballot. Even though Margaret has a sign down there telling you to do it. Now, don't piss off Margaret. Anyway, I just wanted to stop by and congratulate you. Thank you. Thank you for voting. And thank you to Tiffany and Brant. Brant is absolutely exhausted. He has put over 200 ballots personally into the ballot box. So, yes. I think, and Tiffany, and my friend Robin.
And Andrea.
And Don Infante also participated this past Friday in delivering. Andrea will be doing it next Friday, and Margaret will be doing it on the day before election. And I'll pass this to Robin, who's got more information. But again, I just wanted to say thank you.
Exciting, and as late as today, this morning on my way over here, you passed me. One of our residents was calling me, asking me what to do. So I really, really believe that this campaign that we've had going and everybody that's worked on it has made a difference for Regency Oaks, and I'm just really thrilled to be a part of it. As of this morning at 9:20, 191,787 votes have already been counted in Pinellas County. That represents 26.96%. Over 1 in 4 of our residents, registered voters, has voted already. That's got to be unprecedented. Very exciting. You've already heard about the ballots that had some problems. I encourage you to look very carefully when you put your ballot in. If you use the drop box, that you've signed it and you dated it. However, we don't know who those people are that might be having problems. So does everybody know how to check to see if your vote was counted? Resounding silence. I'm going to tell you real quick, and you can always call me or Andrea, and we'll be happy to walk you through it. But all you need to know is votepinellas.com. That's the website. And your name and your birth date. And it's very easy to search through there and see what's happened with your mail-in ballots. And you can see if your vote was counted. For example, mine was last Friday. I put it in, they took it. It was counted by Monday. So you can find out. And if yours hasn't been counted and it should have been counted, get in touch with us and we'll help you. Okay?
I've got a lot more I voted stickers. Anybody need another one or didn't pick one up when they dropped their ballot in? They're up by the ballot boxes, or I've got a bunch in my hand right now.
Look by the ballot boxes if you have not gotten your I voted sticker. And if you need another one, speak with Andrea. Okay? You're going to talk about buses. We've talked about who's doing what. Thank you. Continue to continue.
All right, Robin, thank you very much for that update. So up next is our head of therapy. Not many of you see Dave from day to day, but he has a very big job. He's responsible not only for our therapy efforts, our in-house therapy efforts over at the health center, but he's also going to tell you about his efforts here in the IL. So, Dave Little, come on up.
Oh, but I thought it was you.
Underneath there, right? How's everybody doing this morning? Who here doesn't know me? You don't know me? Okay, so my name's Dave Little. I'm currently the Director of Therapy Services at the Skilled Nursing Facility over at Sylvan across the street, okay?
Health center now.
Health Center now, yeah. So I've been there, it'll be 9 years in December that I've been there as the rehab manager / director of services. And have some of you spent time over there with us? Right? Right. Resoundingly, when people leave our facility across the street, I get asked this all the time. Can I keep using the therapist from Sylvan when I go back to Regency Oaks? Unfortunately, in the past, that's always been a no. However, we're making a change to that. So we've entered into a partnership with Grace Home Health. You guys have probably heard a little bit about them. My therapists are going to be, there's a little bit more work we have to do on our end, but my therapists are actually going to be coming across the street and performing therapy for you guys over here, as well as staying across the street.
Wow.
Yay, right? Is that big news?
How did that happen?
We just made it happen. Also, we're going to be opening, you guys know that there was a physical therapy gym, south building, first floor down that way. Okay, we're relocating that. It's now going to be in the north building, M108, right? 109. So we're in the process of getting that gym put together right now, and we should have it up and running pretty soon. But start looking to see me over here more. Start looking to see Mike and Natasha and Michelle and Enos and all those great therapists that we've got over across the street are going to be over here to help you guys out too. I think it's a great thing because I know I have such a great staff of therapists. But secondly, it's going to provide you guys with that continuum of care, you know. So you're over there across the street with us, we're working with you, we discharge you from there, you come back over here, you're seeing the same therapist again, they know right where you left off, right where you need to do. So, all right, I just want to share that with you because I'm so excited about it. Start looking forward to seeing more of me over here.
Would you turn off the lights over there as you're headed out the door? Okay. All right, he's going to turn off the lights. The party's over. Thank you, Dave.
We're just getting started.
All right, so this morning we're going to give you the COVID update, and things have changed pretty significantly since last we spoke. I can remember being here last week and talking about how in the month of August and September the numbers had really stabilized or declined, and that everything that was supposed to be going down was going down, and everything that was supposed to be going up was going up. Well, that's completely changed in just the last 7 days. How many of you have been following the numbers and looking at the change in trend lines? So many of you are aware of it. All right, let's go over and take a look at the board, and we'll do that now. So this is probably the most dramatic slide, and it sort of shows the issue in just a single slide. You can see Pinellas County and Safety Harbor, which previously had been blue, has now turned red. And so what we're looking at is the number of new cases being reported throughout the state. We've zeroed in on Pinellas County. You can see the vast majority of Pinellas County has gone red. Our specific zip, which is the area just off the Safety Harbor, one county in, our zip code 33759. This is the first time that our color has been red, or our infection rate has been this high since this whole thing started back in February. So we went through the initial onslaught, we did the spike in June, we made it through the recovery, and it was all the way through August and September. It had never gone red. In fact, it had never even gotten beyond light blue. So that's the significant change. Specifically, what are we seeing? We're seeing an infection rate that is now headed upward. We had 20,000 new cases in the past week, and we had the single highest one-day increase as well as the single highest 7-day increase in new cases that's been reported since midsummer. Okay, here are the charts that you're familiar with. We look at them every single week, and you'll recall that they were trending down the last time we looked at them. Now all 4 charts are trending up. We'll start with the upper left-hand corner. These are individuals presenting at hospital with influenza or flu-like symptoms. Since the end of September, it's been a pretty steady increase. ED visits with COVID-like illness symptoms, that's in blue. You can see that there in September, we started to see a further decline, and then all of a sudden it has picked back up. That's the purple line. The documented new cases, look where it was back on 9/28, and then it's just dramatically climbed. Our infection rate, we'll take a look at that, but it is on the way to doubling here in Pinellas County over the last 7 to 10 days. And then the percentage positive for laboratory testing is also increasing pretty significantly. So here is on the left-hand side, it's the county rate, and they have just updated this yesterday. In fact, this morning before the update, the testing percentage yesterday was 4.8, and this morning it's 6.12. It went up 2 percentage points overnight. You may recall that the benchmark that we have set, or CDC and the Center for Medicare Studies has set a benchmark at 5%. And so when 5% or fewer of the population are testing positive, then you're able to pull restrictions and loosen up some rules in terms of what you can do and quarantines. This is growing pretty rapidly. This time last week, you may recall, we were down in the 3s. So this has been 100% increase in less than 7 days. You can also see over here on the right-hand side, the graph down at the bottom, our positivity rate is 10.04, and that's from the beginning of this back in February until today. We were trending down into the very low 9s, and so even though you're looking at that cumulative data, so instead of 2,500 people that were tested yesterday, you're looking at 250,000 people. So much larger grouping, but statistically, when you look at that data, it's amazing that the current outbreak was able to raise the mean by more than a percentage point in just 7 days. Pinellas County, and it gives you the age distribution by cases, and then the bottom is the new cases. You can see a virtual increase. If you go back to 10.5, you can sort of see that there's going to be an increase. It's really difficult to look at this on a day-by-day basis. Monday, that is the big tall one there on the right-hand side. That's that one Monday, the highest Monday that we've seen in over 2 months. This graph goes all the way back to the 20th, so it's not a very broad perspective, but you can see pretty clearly a generally trending upward. Now, these are leading indicators as opposed to trailing, which means that we won't begin to see the results of this for still another 10 to 14 days. But what we are able to see is when we look at these numbers, we can clearly see that there is a second outbreak, that it has hit Pinellas County. This is the first time that Pinellas County has truly been hit. And we're seeing it, if we look at the state numbers, we'll see that as well. And Lauren, let's just flip over to the Florida cases. To the left. And so you can, if we look at this chart over here on the right-hand side, you can see the trending upward since, about 10-7 maybe, and pretty big. You can see that 7-day trend we talked about that was so high. We've had 750,000 positive tests. We'll give you some more numbers here in just a second. All right, so let's take a look at our specific numbers. And just as a comparison, I want to look at what's actually happening here at Regency Oaks. We currently in quarantine, and these are loose and strict quarantines. Here in the IL, we have 17. In the skilled nursing, we have 10. So we have a total of 27 people who are under quarantine. When we look at our staff, we have 4 staff members that are currently under quarantine, 2 in the IL and 2 in skilled nursing. One of the 2 in skilled nursing has tested positive, and so we've had a COVID exposure over in the skilled nursing. Her last day worked was more than 10 days ago, and so what that means in terms of processing the disease and the incubation period, we don't believe that we had any residents exposed because it had been so many days since she had worked in the building. To be on the safe side, we are testing all residents and all staff in skilled nursing. Here in the IL, we have 2 suspicious COVID cases. Both of them were tested yesterday. We've already gotten results back on one. It was negative. We're waiting on the results of the second one. In terms of testing in progress, here in the IL, it's just those 2 individuals, and then we're doing about 140 people in the assisted living and skilled nursing related to a potential outbreak. So here, let's try to put this in perspective. Regency Oaks has done a really good job of keeping people safe and preventing the spread of the disease. It's not me, it's not us, it's really you. And you're the secret to this whole thing. Continuing to wear a mask and limiting the number of times you leave the campus and where you go, and having proper social distancing and not allowing visitors into our common areas and not eating in the dining rooms with guests. Those are all the kinds of things that have kept us safe. We currently do not have any IL residents that are exposed as far as we know. And so we will continue to monitor that. It's really important that every single day you have your temperature checked. I don't care if you come down and have it checked at the front desk. I don't care if you check it and keep a log in your apartment. But we have found in every close call that we've had with COVID, what's made the difference is the fact that we were able to diagnose it and get on top of it in the early stages, not only potentially helping that individual survive, but also being able to make sure that we didn't spread it to the population. So I cannot overemphasize the importance of taking your temperature. We don't have a particularly large number of residents who are coming down and doing it at the front desk on a daily basis. That doesn't mean that you're not doing it in the privacy of your apartment and keeping your own log. But that is such a critical, important step in protecting the residents here at Regency Oaks. In terms of next steps, at this point, we are shutting down the nursing home. We are not going to allow visitation over in the skilled nursing or the assisted living. until we feel comfortable that we have gotten beyond the latest potential COVID exposure. So even though we don't think residents have been exposed, we want to err on the side of caution and make sure that we keep our residents safe. In terms of the IL, I'm not lifting or imposing any restrictions yet. And so here's what we need to do. We're in this together, and we're going to monitor it every single day. We're going to track these numbers. We're going to continue to see what happens with our residents. And it's just a reminder at this point that we're pretty wide open. People are coming and going off campus. Yes, we're screening them. Yes, they're supposed to be reporting to the front desk. But our campus is pretty wide open. You're free to go about your business. You can go out to eat and to the grocery store, and you can run errands. But you need to be extremely cautious. Think about the people who do have COVID. Where are they? They're in our grocery stores, they're in our restaurants, they're in our physicians' offices. Where should you not be? In our physician offices, our grocery stores, our restaurants. So the exact places where you want to go are the exact places where you shouldn't go. So I want to just ask for your cooperation to be very, very careful as you are off campus. Please wear a mask everywhere you go. Please practice good social distancing. Please wash your hands on a continuous basis. Please, if you are showing signs or symptoms of flu or COVID, let somebody know. If you are showing signs or symptoms of COVID or flu, stay in your apartment so that you don't spread or pass the disease to others. It's just really important that all these good new practices that we've developed and honed over the last 7 months, that we continue to really pay attention to them so that we don't have to go backwards and start shutting down dining and transportation and locking down our buildings and shutting our side doors and prohibiting you from leaving campus. We've put so much time and energy and effort into this that I don't want to see us go backwards. And we're not going to have to do that as long as each and every one of us, staff and residents alike, we're in this together, as long as we practice good social distancing and mask wearing. Okay, so I want to open it up for a discussion and then spend whatever remaining time we have on questions. And we're going to get a microphone back there to
I'm like the tall ones, no, but
Here we go. Oh, okay.
Brent, should we get tested? Would that be a good idea?
So here's the deal on testing. The public health authorities are recommending that you not test unless you are symptomatic. I can help you get a test if you need a test, but many of the public health agencies are refusing to test people who are not symptomatic, and the reason for that is it overwhelms the system. And so we tested that one IL associate yesterday, and we already have results back. They were negative. The reason we're able to do that, you may recall in the initial stages of this, it was taking 7-10 days to get test results back, and it's because the system was overwhelmed. And so they've gotten a little smarter about it. Tests are available. There's no issue with supply, and you can get rapid results, but part of that control is they're only testing people who are symptomatic. So if you're not symptomatic, you shouldn't be testing. As soon as you become symptomatic, you should go and get tested. And it's really important that you do it in that early time frame day 3 through 5 when you first become symptomatic. Do not wait until day 7, 8, or 9 when you have a full-blown infection and your symptoms are severe. Your treatment is more difficult in the later stages, and your chances of survival drop considerably. President Trump was a really good example of the way this should be treated. Whether you are Republican or Democrat, he got really good care. Within 24 hours of his diagnosis, and he started to see problems with blood saturation levels and oxygen, he immediately was hospitalized for treatment and rebounded quickly. That can be the case for every single person who comes down with COVID. The secret is not waiting until day 7 or 8 thinking, oh, I just have the flu, or oh, I can take vitamin D and zinc and I can cure it by using vitamin D and zinc. That's not true. Early diagnosis, early treatment is the key to beating COVID. Next question.
Very quickly. How do the contractors who come on campus get tested?
How do the contractors that come on campus get tested?
So any vendor that is allowed into the interior of Regency Oaks, they have to go through our screening just like our associates. Our associates, unless you work in the health center, are not tested unless they are symptomatic. So if we look at like CDS, our primary contractor, every single one of those folks signs in, they submit to the questions, they have a temperature checked every single day, and that's how we feel comfortable letting them into our community. And it's the fact that we have a running record of them over an extended period of time so that we can look for that telltale sign, that incremental 0.2 of an increase in temperature over 3 consecutive days. That's the gold standard for predicting COVID.
Okay, thank you.
Is Regency Oaks Health Department able to test me if I would feel sick?
So the question is can Regency Oaks test you if you are feeling sick? The answer is yes and no. We have the capability of, I keep about 500 tests on hand at any time. And so I have the capability of doing that testing. Most physicians are going to have you go to a lab and do what's called a curative test. And they will have those results shipped directly to their office, and they use their specific lab. And so, yes, we can, but your physician is very likely not going to allow us to do it. They're going to send you for a curative test at one of the participating labs. Baycare does it. CDC Pharmacy, you can go and get a rapid test at any time. But here's the deal with the rapid test. If you have COVID, they're 100% positive or effective. If you don't have COVID, they're only about 80% effective. And so if you are looking for a confirmation because you are symptomatic, you absolutely can go to CDS and get a 20-second COVID fast test, and it will confirm a self-diagnosis. But you have to be symptomatic, because the failure rate on the non-symptomatic rapid test is about 80% effective. So, all right. Any other questions? All right, everybody, don't get discouraged. We can weather this storm. We've had a break in Pinellas County. We just need to be cautious. We don't need to take any additional precautions. I'm not lifting restrictions at this point. I just need every single person to pay attention to the basics. And I see a mask on. I don't see a single person out there without a mask. So good job. continue to wash your hands, practice social distancing. We can get through this together, and there's no need to panic at this point, okay? One last thing, Tiffany, you want to talk about the arrangements you've made for transportation on voting day for us, please.
Good morning, everyone. How about the Rays? Tampa Bay is showing out tremendously, so sports is looking good overall. Just a heads up that this Friday and next Friday, transportation will be providing assistance so that you can early vote. You can sign up at the trip table or give Tuck a call. We're just providing that service to any of our residents who isn't able to do the mail-in ballot in time, or just another avenue. We will still be voting on election day, but it's always best if we can get there early so we're not standing outside, tremendously long, because we're sure it's going to get quite busy. So it's this Friday and next Friday. You can set that up with transportation. They will take you to the voting site so that you can still vote in person. We want to be able to provide that service as well. So please, yay! If you haven't placed your ballot, please do sign the back of it. The great thing about this service is that since myself, a resident in Brant, is taking the ballots, we're able to double check. So we're able to catch it a little bit quicker than if you put it in the mail, things of that sort. So we appreciate all the residents using this service. Please feel free to contact Tuck or myself if you would like to have transportation this Friday or next Friday, or we'll see you on election day. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay.